So I'm laying in bed yesterday. I was taking a nap. Like I'd worked and then I was just chilling and I was just tired, down. And Neil sends me this. You want to pull that up?
The mic?
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil sends me this song. And bro, this first part, I don't know what it's amazing how music does that. I just all of a sudden just started getting up, and then I just started getting more motivated, and I was like, and then I felt spiritual, and it started making me feel like I was like everything's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? And then, bro, this song, and then I came over and I was all excited to see people like, and I was not prior to the song, I was not excited to see anybody. I was just like tired.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I'm saying with music? It's called The Devil. Anybody listen to this by Steven Wilson Jr. But you know how what is it about that, bro? I don't know if I'm a special snowflake and that music just does that to me. Like, does it? You know what I mean? Like music. It makes me think like, damn, like I need to be on the search for more songs.
Agreed.
You know, because you know, I don't know, bro. I just want to share that on here, but
well, we've talked about like things before that like drive away the spirit, right?
Yeah.
Like sin, pornography, all that. But in a way, music can too. So like, depending on like what you listen to, you know, it definitely plays like a role, like with your attitude, and definitely.
So that song's called The Devil, and the gist of it is he's just talking about the world and like, just the ups and downs of the world and just how everything, like the devil's in it all. Like the devil, this is what I got from it, but the devil's not just in like sin. It's like, it also goes, he comes in when things are going really well. You know, like it's like in the Book of Mormon. Like I've been going hard on the book. So the Book of Mormon, that's all it is, dude. People start to prosper, and what happens to them after they start prospering and they get happy, like, and so the devil's in, like, you're prospering, good, keep prospering. You're getting pretty comfortable too. It seems like life's going pretty good. Yeah, just chill. Don't say your prayers. Don't pray anymore. Like your life's good. You know, keep chasing after that money. Forget how grateful you are for the things that you have currently and keep trying to get more, you know? Yeah. And then next thing you know, you're involved in that pride cycle, you know? How do you figure that we just enjoy what we got? Let's just, I mean, what is your thoughts on that?
I definitely, it's sometimes it could go back to that like addict mentality too, that kind of all or nothing, right? That's what I have. Yeah. In a lot of things. Like if it wasn't alcohol, like I think I told you before, I would have been addicted to food, right? Yeah. Or, like when you're on the up and up and then things are going like great and so you want more and more and more, you know? Yeah. And then you forget, it's so funny, we forget to do all the small things that got us there in the first place, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's like me right now. I've been in a really good place. Good. I've been thinking about the one day at a time thing. So, one day at a time, right? That's a big one in recovery. Like, okay, just one day at a time and get sober. Well, okay, that is, but it's also like one day at a time of how you think. Yeah. You know, what fears and what narratives am I going to attach to during this day? Yeah. So a lot of my prayers lately, it's like the cravings have been, you know, they still come in daily to go. I mean, having it in that gas station is just different for me now, you know? Yeah. But when I am a watcher for fear, which is like fear is so everything. Fear could be me being mad at somebody. Like that's just fear, you know, a resentment or comparisons or the spite that often comes into my heart. It's one day at a time with all that too. Like, damn, all right, I'm going to see how I perform today. I'm going to be a watcher. and then and working with God, you know, spot check-ins, you know, with every time I use the bathroom, that's a cue for me to have a prayer.
That's a good one. Nice.
Like, you know, like if I go to use the bathroom, take a leak or something, then I usually just kind of kneel down, right by with the door, the door handle, and just will be like, just have a quick prayer, like, and kind of like a little check in with my Heavenly Father, you know, and it's just so, but you know, keeping an eye on those things for the day, then that makes it so that it knocks down any hope for a craving. Because I like how I feel when I'm using God as my drug.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. This is going kind of deep on this, but it's just it's addiction's a wild game. So what about you, dude? How you been?
Good. Well, I feel like, I mean, it is a very like spiritual war, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes that war just with that drug or alcohol, it is very much a spiritual war.
Pull this up just a little closer.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have
good.
to. You can just, it's just about right
Right
there.
about there should be
Better?
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's very much a spiritual war. So I find myself saying that to my kids all day. They'll be like, can't find this or that. I'm like, say a prayer. Or they're going to go get in the car somewhere and I'm like, say a prayer before you go.
Yeah.
Or like at night, I've really been focusing on that a lot at night, mornings, and like scripture study with my kids.
Have you been doing that with your kids?
Yeah.
So what does that look like? How do you get them to do it?
I just,
Like, it's not hard. Like they enjoy it.
yeah. Well, actually the first week was kind of rough. I'd be like, you know, everybody grab your scriptures, let's go to the table. And there was a lot of whining and moaning and
like,
waiting around. But now it's getting, you know, I just do one verse a day.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Ponder
I don't have time to conquer it all.
Yeah.
But like just one chapter, sorry.
Yeah.
We do one chapter a day. That's it.
Yeah, and
That's plenty. That's plenty to digest.
yeah, and that's pretty sick because it's not really about. It's not, I would imagine it's not really about what you're reading. It's more like those kids. They're probably not going to remember down the road. They're going to remember that that Mom got us together and had an experience around the table with our scriptures.
Right. Yeah, that family time. Yeah. Definitely.
Our parents my mom read me the book, or they read us the Book of Mormon like I think 3 times, and I remember a good amount of it. But I heard this story, man, a lot from them just reading with me, little bits at a time like that.
Yeah, I would say I'd say a big thing that stood out even in my childhood was my dad did family home evenings on Monday,
we did that too,
and all our friends could come. And in fact, it was like nothing. We were like,
It's
we've
like
got
a
to do
party.
that. But they all now that we're
smart.
older, they all remember it. Like
all your
coming
friends?
over, or like a lot of Heather's friends, a lot of our friends they'll say, oh my gosh, we remember family night at your guys' house, you know?
Wow, your parents are so cool.
They are. I have the best. I've got the best parents.
Yeah.
So.
When did you start drinking? Like it was later in life, wasn't it?
Yes, very much so. It was here or there when I turned 21, maybe a couple times, maybe a holiday or a weekend.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Yeah.
Just nothing that it was something I could just do and then like forget about and then, I got to work for the week or, you know, but wasn't anything that was all the time. Just not even very often, but just here or there.
Yeah.
You know, so
what,
much later in life.
So then what? So how did you get into it? When was it then you got wrapped up into it?
I got wrapped up into it, I would say, so we were a military family, moved, and had, you know, kids, all of that. It wasn't until I was probably about, probably in like 30s, in my 30s. Yeah. And I have 6 kids, obviously, but from oldest is 20, my youngest is 11.
Yeah.
And I think that normal everyday life. I was just, working, kids, marriage, not going well at all, and just overwhelmed. A lot of feeling overwhelmed. And
you started using it to cope a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. It started just maybe a weekend.
Yeah.
And maybe, one night a week. And then it went to overtime to the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Then it went, then it started night drinking.
Yeah.
Then it was, all weekend, every holiday. Then it, slowly.
Like belligerent.
You're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, let's go out to the bar and the clubs and out like that. I was like your mom that was drinking at home when our kids were asleep. That's how it started,
Did you start drinking during the day?
Oh, yeah, that came later.
Yeah.
That last year. Yeah.
Yeah, the last year before you came into treatment. Mm-hmm. So what was it like with Heather during that time? So you and Heather were best friends?
We were very close, yeah.
So you were the sister she would go visit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I was working with her, she was like, and I think you were in Texas, right?
I was, yeah.
Because I remember she's always talking about you, like, I'm going to see my sister. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So
when at that time, would you guys drink together, or did she hide it from you, or did you hide it?
Oh no, we were both hiding it from each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you didn't want her to know that you had a problem, and she didn't want you to know that.
Yeah. So actually, I have a lot of guilt over that because I feel like I should have been like the better example, like the older sister. But I did live away. She came even when I lived in Germany, in Kentucky, Texas, everywhere. But the last time she had come to see me, I think she had just graduated SOAR.
Yeah.
And she was at my house the next day.
Yeah.
And she was already drinking within a couple days.
Yeah. I saw her.
And I felt really, really guilty for that,
I feel blessed to have seen Heather happy.
Yeah.
She was I seen her when she was sober, and she loved the gospel. You know, I actually learned a lot from her about the gospel. I used to pick her up every morning. She was in a sober living house. I don't know if I've told you this. I picked her up every morning in a van. This is when it was a war. It was war still. It was a little different. And bro, we talk about the gospel. She had a strong testimony. You probably know. Yeah. And but I saw her so happy, and she'd be like, I saw her at in the gym, the old war gym, and we got into Greatest Showman. That was right when the Greatest Showman was coming out, and that soundtrack, and there would be songs coming around, and she'd be just doing circles in the gym with her arms out, just laughing. I feel blessed. Yeah. I feel blessed to have seen her happy.
She was just originally unapologetic of exactly who she was.
Yeah.
She did not care if you loved her, liked her. She was always the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was so kind and giving.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't even have a lot. She would,
Yeah, she was incredible.
Yeah. She definitely was. But yeah, at that time, I was drinking.
Yeah.
Not every day, not as often, but I was still drinking. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
you have a lot of guilt, because you had this secret habit, and you knew that she had a serious problem with it. Yeah.
So I would definitely say it started in high school, when we were both in high school.
Yeah.
And I was a junior. And
she older than you or younger?
Younger. And she was a sophomore, and we were both Lakeettes.
Right, okay.
And she had she had to get her stomach pumped, or
this is in high school?
Yeah, remember back to the Red Devil days?
Yeah.
Wait, what's a Red Devil?
It's like
it's those cortisone.
it's cough pills, kind of like robotized.
Dang, that's like a generation older than me.
That was at the start of like, that's why they're behind the counter now at the pharmacy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because of our era, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a big thing then. And she had tried it, and I don't know, I think she passed out in the bathroom and had to go get her stomach pumped. And that was the first, like, time I remember that. And yeah, because I was the captain and I had to kick her off the drill team, and it was awful. Yes.
Yeah.
It sucked. And that kind of started it. She just kind of did that and a little bit with her friends,
Yeah.
But then as they moved on and had, moved on and got married and had kids and stuff, she never overcame that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, that's too bad. So
she did for periods of time. In fact, I would have to say the happiest I saw her was at SOAR as well.
Yeah. Yeah, during that time period.
Yeah.
And so how was your addiction during that time period? Like when you were starting to see her happy, were you struggling?
No, there were times I was, there was times I wasn't.
Yeah.
There was times I would do really good, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I think a couple years before that, we had gone through the temple and got sealed.
Yeah.
And then we adopted three of my 3.
Yeah.
So, or 3 of my 6. So it was just a little bit, just kind of, a couple years after that. So I had like those really highs, and.
Were you active in the church the whole time? Were you trying to stay close to Christ the whole time during all this?
Yeah, but I didn't, but I tried.
Yeah.
So there were times when I did, but then there were times when I think I just had a lot of shame and guilt.
Yeah.
And so I think that keeps you away.
I mean, isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Like that's the devil.
It is.
The devil's in shame, because if you understand Christ, I mean, it goes back to the show The Chosen. I mean, if you've watched The Chosen, which is a beautiful depiction of Christ, or just understand the New Testament, you would see that he would never just cause you and say, hey, like want you to feel bad, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? But yet we do. I shouldn't pray. I shouldn't go to church today.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because that's when we need it the most.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when I was telling you how I gave a talk in church, and a lot of this reminded me of Heather, because it's just, that's where God wants us, like to come back to him, to pray, to seek him out, to, become better. But we are filled with like shame and guilt. So we stay away instead of be where we really need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's catch-22 or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
and then I think too, like even just like in society too, right? It's like you feel ashamed.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel like you're worth that, you're worth anything just because of the things that you're doing. And so you hide from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you see that in here a lot, that people relapse and then they don't dare to step through these doors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we created it. That's why we got this. I've been full of relapse.
Yeah.
Everybody's been full of relapse.
Absolutely.
I know. When it happened to me, I knew I had to come back, and I remember thinking that when I did it, and I was like, I still did that. I was like, yeah, shit. Now I have to go tell everybody this.
Yeah.
Took me a couple weeks.
Yeah.
To come in and be like, all right, with my tail between my legs.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's good to take that accountability. So it's like that also helps you, because you're like, I had this idea. Well, the times that I do have some gnarly cravings, like it's probably like 3 weeks ago. I was thinking pretty heavy about the kratom, and I said it out loud. I said, all right, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to drink this kratom. My eyes are going to get weird. My voice is going to go raspy. I'm going to have to try to hide it from Autumn. She's going to know. I'm going to need it 2 hours later. I'm going to need it I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to be able to stop. I'm going to fail a drug test at SOAR. Everyone's going to know it's SOAR. I'm going to not be able to stop. So they're going to have to put me back in detox, then possibly treatment. I got all these kids. I just played it all forward and said it out loud. Just knocked it down.
You're like,
Absolutely.
what?
Knocked down the craving.
Yeah.
You know, but that accountability to just to know that, you know, I don't want to. I love coming here with all these people at SOAR. We're all a family. I don't want to have to do. So that's a nice accountability, don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, even like growing up, you know, I thought like, you know, the alcoholics, the addicts, you know, was what I had seen, you know, like weren't doing well, homeless, no jobs on the street. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I can't be an alcoholic. That can't be me.
Yeah. Stigma.
So I can't put myself in that boat, you know, when in fact it's like addicts are some of the best people I've met in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
They're like CEOs and businessmen and moms and like your normal everyday people that just still are struggling, and usually mostly silently until you find a place like SOAR.
That's a good one. Silently. I mean, you made your best friends here, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And some of the best people I've ever met in my whole life.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too.
Yeah. Like absolutely life-changing. And the first week I was here, actually like the second day, me and Heather came on a hike with you. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, damn it. I do remember that.
Yeah. And it was just like my second morning. And so I picked her up and brought her, but I was so terrified, but I was so impressed by what the night before was a chip meeting, and Chris had got his chip. Yeah. And other people had, and Neil. Anyways, I was so terrified after that hike. I went home and I drank the whole rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, how bad were you during that time? Were you struggling? Like, what was that? So you're worst right then. Like, what was going on in your life? If you want to share, like, what, with your marriage, with your kids.
Yes. Yeah, so I think what ended up sending me that over the edge was getting divorced.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
Going through a divorce. And you think that your kids like don't know anything because you're just hiding it from them, and when in fact they know everything. Yeah. You know, and then they're, you know, then your family's finding out, friends are finding, everybody's finding out, but you're still trying to hide it. Yeah. And that, you know, then you're trying to lie, then all those feelings, the guilt, the shame, you have all that because, you know, you're just lying to everybody and hiding it all. So it was just a whirlwind of so much. But because I didn't want to deal with it, so I just would just drink. So it started, you know, all the time, every day. Like on weekends, it would be like kids would get off, you know, school, and I'd just know that I'd be drinking at home all night, or then wouldn't want to really go anywhere because, you know, you'd be drinking. And, and it like finally got to where my kids were like, Mom, stop drinking, you know?
They're calling you out.
Yeah. Like, we can't do anything, and you're not doing anything. Yeah. Just sitting here all the time.
Yeah, but I'd make the practice. I would make the game. But then as soon as, you know, I was done, that was it, you know? Yeah. Then I could tell myself that I was being a good mom because I still got them to that practice, or I did make it to that, you know, football game. Yeah. But then I'd just get right home to be like, oh, okay, you know?
I can relate to that.
And then give them everything they asked for so that I, you know.
Yeah, you're just trying to tidy it all up. You're trying to organize the show so that you could keep your habit alive and still feel good about having a habit.
Yeah.
You're constantly trying to help yourself feel okay about having a habit that is actually destroying you.
Yeah. Well, and you know, people are worried about you, so you want to just be like, yeah, I'm fine, and pretend like everything's okay, but it is not at all, you know? So staying up drinking all night and everything just slowly started slipping, you know? Everything did.
Money.
Yes.
Money. You get tight with money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
it's hard to work when you get like that, right?
yeah, I was definitely not cutting hair.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And it was during COVID. So I feel like that was also a huge, like, well, we're just sitting home
Another
all
excuse,
day.
like,
Right. Can't go anywhere anyway, you know,
God, yeah.
kind of thing.
Was this during, when did you start SOAR? 2021?
So I have, because I have 4 years in April.
That is crazy.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is wild
It
how
is.
fast it
Because
goes.
I know. I still so vividly remember that.
What was it hard being a single mom when you first got divorced? Like, what was that?
From what I remember.
Well, just
Yes.
even after you got sober,
Oh, yeah.
when you got because I'd like you to share. I remember how hard that was for you actually, but I'd like to hear it.
It was. So as things like slowly start unraveling first, Mike Jolly, he worked with my dad.
Yeah.
And I think it was, if I remember right, was one of his sober birthdays, and he had posted it on SOAR.
Yeah.
And I think at that time, like, you know, like you're fed up and you're like, I'm not going to drink again. But then the next day, you found a reason to drink again.
Yeah.
And then you're back at it. But I was getting to that, okay, I'm getting sick of this. I know I need to change this. I know that this, you know, has got to change. And nothing was like getting any better. Everything was then just progressively getting worse. Yeah. If I kept up any longer, I would have, you know, gotten a DUI or, you know, worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I saw Mike's message on Facebook, and I just reached out to him and sent him a text, and I was like, okay, I think I want to go to this, you know?
Yeah.
And so then he brought me like my first night. Then after I had went home and drank the whole weekend, because I thought, okay, it scared me. I was scared. Yeah. So
the commitment is overwhelming to think about when you first think about like getting sober. You're like, I mean, the alcohol becomes like your best friend.
It does. Well, and for me as well, like the admitting. Yeah. That was like the biggest of all. You know, I see what keeps a lot of people not sober, especially in like my life, or like it's their pride.
Yeah.
And they can't admit that they need help, and they're in such bad denial, you know?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I was the exact same. Even though I had that big of a problem, I was like, everything's okay. I can do this. I can make it, you know? So that admitting it, I think, is what scared me the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Admitting it, letting people know you're going into treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big block for people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're in treatment. That there's a stigma around that.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. There's recovery is like, I feel like it's like becoming cool to, you know, to go into recovery. I don't think it used to be like cool. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I look at it as cool now, but I didn't used to like think that it was, you know?
It's something I've gotten like more comfortable. Well, I also feel like I've earned enough a little bit to like talk about and tell people about, like in certain professional environments. Like it is cool. And people do have respect for it, you know, because the way I always try to pose it, like if I'm like going to share something about this podcast on social media or something, is I'm like, somebody you know is struggling with addiction. Yeah. Because you could say that to anybody and I guarantee it's true. Yeah. So I think like being able to talk about it is becoming, and it should be like more normalized, and like absolutely, that's what we try to put a emphasis on, is the benefits of recovery, of are like the secondary benefits of meeting with other like-minded people and doing things that normal people don't meet up and talk about bettering themselves, you know, because we get past that. It's like, yeah, we don't want to do drugs, but that's not the only thing that gets talked about, at least in this program. It's like your character, and you work on so many things. So recovery is cool. Like, it is cool. People can be inspired from it, you know?
Well, yeah. And it's like, so that's why, like, when, you know, you prepared to speak in church, and I was like, you got to share your story, you know? And, you know, step 12 is carrying the message, you know? And this is, and if you asked yourself, would my Heavenly Father want me to share the hell I've gone through and how He's pulled me out of the shadows, and I've changed my life and turned my will and life over to the care of Jesus Christ, and this is what's happened to me.
Yeah. You
know that He would want you to share that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but sometimes it's scary.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I overshare, but I don't know. You know, I don't know the balance with that. I mean, sometimes I feel like I've overshared a little much when I'm up at church. Like, if people are just like, they're just not ready for me to.
Dang,
dude.
Well,
why did you tell me that? Like,
well, right,
know?
because people act like the people who go, that everybody else is perfect and their lives are perfect, because on the outside we don't see what's going on in all these perfect people at church on Sundays with their callings and these families and their jobs, and they all looks, you know.
Yeah.
And so you think, like, you know, basically, like, you know, church was a place for like only the people who are doing good right now, if that makes any sense. It is scary to be like, okay, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm not going to fit in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I got to read this, dude. This is from my boy, Neil A. Maxwell.
Oh, yeah.
He's my favorite writer in the church. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard,
So I shared this. Hold on. It might be this one. Oh, okay. Here it is. Since life in the church presents to us painfully at times our own defects as well as the defects of others, we are bound to be disappointed in ourselves and in others. We cannot expect it to be otherwise in a kingdom where not only does the net gather of every kind, but those of every kind are at every stage of spiritual development. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
When people leave their net straightway, he's quoting scripture, they come as they are. Though they are already in the initial process of changing, the luggage reflects their past. You hear that? Hence, this is a developmental journey that requires patience, understanding, and meekness toward others who join the caravan, as together we disengage from one world and prepare ourselves for another. Bro, like, so that's, I don't know why that came into my head about what we're talking about. It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It is.
That's pretty deep, but like, so it's basically, it's talking about like everyone's at a different part of their spiritual development.
Yeah.
You know, and you get that you see that in recovery. You see that in, there's people a little rougher around the edges. I mean, you see a different crowd of people that have changed their life.
Oh, yeah.
And they're pretty rough around the edges. Maybe they've come from a homeless camp. Yeah. And they've lived in a homeless camp. Yeah. Well, that's different from me and your story.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I've never had that.
Yeah.
And those people are going to be a little rough around the edges, but we're charged with helping them, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, even my first night here, you know, there was a lot of people that been on meth and heroin, and I was like, no. You know, like, so I cannot believe that, or in jail or this. And I was like, I do not belong here. And I don't belong here. I'm just a mom who just drank for a couple of years. Like, I don't belong here. That's how I literally felt. But
that's funny.
Literally, though, did I know that this is exactly where I belong, because I was exactly like they were.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter what you chose to do. We were still the same.
Well, you know, you look at Frank. I mean, you know, I bring Frank up a lot on here, but I mean, he was a dude who lived down in Salt Lake for 2 years as a homeless man. I mean, he had a truck, but he was a junkie living out of the back of his truck, doing heroin every day, just looking. That was, living down there on the block.
Yeah.
And that's not me. I never did that. But that doesn't mean Frank's addiction was any different than the pull I have for cravings, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
it's
just a different system that
it's really not.
The devil steals our agency.
Yeah.
So he can steal our agency. He can steal the dude with who's a multimillionaire's agency. But he's in a nice comfort of his home, and he might have a habit. And then you got Frank over here, living out of the back of his truck. Their agency's both stolen.
Compromised.
Yeah, they're just both in different little stages, but it's the same thing going. The same type of suffering's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like on a psychological level,
Yeah.
The environments can change and will change.
Yes.
And people might judge certain environments way more than they'll often judge their own environment.
Yeah.
But the psychology is still the same. And that's where you get into even pharmaceuticals and acceptable ways of using drugs,
Okay.
It's acceptable socially, but what you're really doing to your brain's reward system and it's across the board, really. It is.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's like I was kind of upset. I was like, how did I get wrapped up in kratom? You look at, you hear a kratom and, you're not smoking crack.
Right.
Bro, nothing grabbed a hold of me harder than kratom has.
Yeah.
Really?
And I've done, and I was a bad opiate addict with the pharmaceutical oxys, the Roxy pills, the methadone pills, but I know kratom's in the gas station, but kratom grabbed a hold of me in the same way, if not more. Kratom's what led me to having to go to rehab.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Straight up.
So it's just interesting,
We are not the same.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not like Frank. I didn't live in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
Or like Rick, Rick just lived in a cave. Ricky lived in a cave,
Wild.
Yeah, remember him?
I remember my first week here, I was walking at Bonneville's track.
Yeah.
And I see this guy on their bike, and I'm all nervous and stuff. And he just comes right up to me, and I was like, "Oh, hi, Rick," and it was Rick, and he had come to walk with me, but it scared me at first.
That makes me so happy. So he heard that you were walking the track and rode his bike up, to just have a spiritual walk with you.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's so special.
He is. He is so great.
I mean, so that's a perfect example of a man who, when he first came in, he was super rough around the edges.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember?
I didn't see him from the beginning, but
I mean,
I've heard.
just
very, very up and down too.
Yeah. He
was
just
a little
was a bad meth addict
Yeah.
for a lot of years, living. Had that trauma with his wife, and I mean, he's been on here, and everyone, people can hear this through his podcast, so I don't feel bad about talking, because you can listen to his podcast, and he wouldn't care anyway, but yeah, he was rough around the edges, but that's what it's taught. And it's the same thing in the church, I mean, when you go up to church, there's different people that are going to come in there, and you can't judge them, and you can't, even the people who go in there and aren't willing to share their story like that, that aren't willing to show their weaknesses and use the atonement. Use the atonement maybe openly. Is that the way to think about it? Where you're you're talking about how you're using the atonement a little bit. Yeah. That'd be cooler if it. And I think the church is doing that a little more. People are opening up more.
Yeah. So because we could open up here with our each other. Yeah. When I first started in here, I was okay, that I can't believe Neil or JT or some, a lot of the people that I were normal people. We're used to sharing it in the recovery world and, around each other. But then when you're going to church, it just is a whole different type of people.
Yeah.
But still, so I was very nervous to share when I shared. I was super nervous.
Yeah.
Because again, you think these people are going to judge me.
Yeah.
You know, instead of thinking at first, maybe I can help somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else is going through what I am. I'm like, nope. You know.
Yeah. I don't think I've never felt that anybody was judging me. Like, maybe I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, in that.
Yeah.
Like those people up there, anytime I share and get up and bear my testimony, like, and just be pretty raw, you know, about the stuff that I'm working on inside the atonement.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just at the, you know, like lately, like that one I just was telling you at the beginning with the big one I've been working on. I shared this when I bore my testimony last time, is staying right there with my Heavenly Father, where He's where I get all my worth from. I don't need to try any harder to please anybody else. I'll show up to a situation, work for God's kids, and do the best that I can. And then I don't need to worry about anything else. And then I say, Heavenly Father, are you proud of me? And it's always yes. Even on the days that I'm not 100%, He's proud of me, because that's where grace comes in. You know,
Absolutely.
like you're not gonna be 100% all the time, and I'm gonna make mistakes.
Right.
You know, but I shared that. You know, like you share stuff like that, and I think that's a good place to talk about stuff like that is church with people.
Yeah. Well, and with you too. I mean, you're doing so much service and so much good for other people, and service and charity is the pure love of Christ.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so I think that so much of my recovery is like faith-based. So much of it is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, very much so. I would say have such a better understanding and a better relationship with God. Like now, after, you know, having this addiction and going through recovery than I have ever did.
Yeah.
Like even though I was still raised in the church and saying my prayers and reading my scriptures and checking all the boxes, but I didn't have like a relationship, you know, with God like I do now.
Wow.
So it's really cool.
So wouldn't you say that it's a good thing that you became an alcoholic?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I know that I want to go back to Heather, because so how long were you sober until she passed?
So I was 6 months sober.
6 months sober.
Yeah.
And you were able to stay sober when that happened. That's incredible.
I was. Sorry guys, I usually can't talk about her without crying.
I know, it's fine. And we don't have to talk about her.
Oh no, I love talking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Well, because I know that she would want me to, you know, and sometimes it's so hard because, like, you know, you always want to honor her. Like, I always want to honor her. And, like, you know, I always want to talk good about her and what an amazing person she is, because she is. So it's hard sometimes to go, like, back then and, like, really remember, though, the reality and the addiction.
Yeah, how bad it was
how
for
bad
her.
it was. Yeah. And how bad it affects, like, everybody, you know? Like, it affected, you know, our parents and all of us.
Yeah.
You know? And so I came in April, and then she passed away on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So, So I was 6 months. Yeah.
Wow. What? And that, you think God was preparing you for that?
I think so.
Have you ever thought about it that way?
I always, like I used to, like, say a prayer all the time of how grateful I was to be sober when she passed.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to help my family or my parents or even me, you know, because I don't know what I would have done if I, like, wasn't sober, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was, that was very, very tough. But because I was sober and like before, like I wasn't running from like any of that.
Yeah.
And I had to face that head on. In fact, I remember calling you from the hospital.
Yeah.
You were the first person that I called because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
You know? And I was so shocked, but I thought, you know, all the like cliches and things that we hear about in recovery, like, you know, surround yourself with your community and stuff. Well, they're cliches because they work, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of them are so true. And so that's all I could really think to do was just, you know, surround myself with my family and surround myself with SOAR.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, probably, you know, having this community saved me.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. It did.
Yeah, that was hard.
That was hard for you too.
Yeah, I loved Heather. She was probably one of the coolest women I've ever met. You know, like so funny.
We always say she could be on Saturday Night Live.
So funny. You don't see many funny females. I'm not being like, God, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to edit that part.
It would have been fine if I didn't laugh so hard.
But like, she was a funny female. Like, she was funny,
she
witty.
Was. Yeah, and she was so witty. Like, she had a comeback for everything.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, being an addict and being like her actually helped me. Well, it helped me understand her.
Yeah.
Right? Because before, even a year before, a couple years before, like we would fight or we were always, because we'd be like, oh, you know, stop drinking or stop doing this. Or, because, I mean, we're, as family and sisters, like you're so worried about them, right? And so you want to help them. So you get mad, you know, when they're drinking, when they're doing things, because you're worried for them.
Yeah.
Or they, you know, came drunk to this or that, and you know, everybody's upset, and it's this huge fight, and so we would get mad, or we'd get in fights.
Right.
But once I was, you know, going through SOAR and started, I saw her in a different light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't any better than she was. Yeah. I never was. And I had the same problem she had. We were both just finally admitting it. And I stopped even like judging her, getting upset for her with it, you know, like she'd babysit my kids and, you know, I'd be like, hey, just don't drink, you know, don't drink, just try not to, you know, but I didn't get like mad and stop talking to her and fight with her. Yeah. I was able to understand her better, a lot better. So.
Wow. Empathy came into your heart.
So much. And grace too,
Started seeing her through Christ's eyes.
Right.
That's how he saw her, you know, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And giving them grace, you know, like just that part fell away and we actually got along a lot better.
You don't know the trauma that happened to people, even close friends or close family members. You don't really know why somebody can't stop drinking.
Yeah.
I say that a lot. Like when I get frustrated with people in here, we don't know, like you don't really know what narrative they can't stop entertaining in their head that might be causing them to drink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's I say that to myself a lot. Like, just be patient. You don't know. Like you can act like it and you can get pissed, but we don't know like why they can't stop.
Yeah.
And some people can't stop.
Yeah.
And the disease takes them like it did Heather. Yeah.
And I don't know. I've wondered that a lot. Like, is it hereditary? Like it runs, I know, in our family and or, you know, we talk a lot about if it could be that, or like if it's the gift of desperation. Like, I feel like I remember feeling really guilty when she died, feeling like, because I was like desperate to change my life finally.
Yeah.
And it clicked with me coming in here.
Right. But
I don't know why I was granted that and she wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, why did I get that, but she didn't?
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that's
So
heavy.
I struggled with that for a little, you know, or I mean, probably I still do. Sometimes I'm like, if maybe this could have happened, she could have kicked it finally, or maybe, you know.
That's what I love about the gospel of Christ.
Yeah.
Is the belief, well, the restored church and the gospel of Jesus Christ with the temples and stuff, and I could be wrong, but this is the way that I see it. But like when you pass back through the veil, I honestly believe that Christ is there to pick her up, and then she's going to be able to work with him. Some people needed to hug it out with Christ. They couldn't experience enough love in this life.
Yeah.
They couldn't, and so she needed to hug and work with him and work over there on the other side of the veil through it all. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think like some people just can't do it in this format.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that like right after she had passed away. And I remember picturing that in my mind. Like, they always say like I don't know. I think it was Elder Holland said like that the blessings come, whether it's in this life or the next, but the blessings do come. And I kind of felt that way, like with Heather, like maybe the help didn't come now, or when we wanted it to, but the help will come for her. And I truly believe that, you know.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I know that, you know, that's the way that I've chosen to believe. And I do. I that seems right.
It does.
You know?
Well, because, sometimes, like maybe people looked at her like she wasn't like a good person, or like even like, I feel like even look at an addict like, oh, they didn't make good choices and they're not a good person, or their parents didn't teach them right, or they're, when it's actually like the opposite. She was one of, the best people.
Most Christ-like.
Yeah. So.
But she had a habit, and that doesn't make you any less Christ-like. Like, we don't know. It goes back to the same thing. You don't know what was going on inside of her head. You don't know. Only our Heavenly Father knows, like, what she was dealing with. There's no reason that anyone can judge. I even say that with people who commit suicide. I hear this all the time. I have heard all the time is that was just the easy. Why did they take the easy way out? My roommate in college just killed himself a couple years ago. Hard on me. My best friend in college.
Really?
Yeah, like roommate, not just a dude. I lived with him. Like his name was Dustin. Bozarth is his name. He's from Oklahoma. And I don't understand it. I could never see this dude. He shot himself in the chest. And he had kids. But something was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For him to do that. Like, that's not he couldn't see a way out, or he would have found a way out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, I don't think it's fair to say when people commit suicide that they were chicken shit. Oh, that's the easy way out. Have you guys heard people say that?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do that anymore, especially the space that I've been in all these years. Because again, we don't know I'll take it even a step further. We don't know the narrative that the devil has been selling them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're I would say like, kind of like we are, like there were days I just drank every day. I was so depressed. I didn't like see really a way out.
Yeah.
But I had like my parents, and I had who were like still helping pull me out. But a lot of people don't have that, but we don't know like what they have.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
or their
circumstantial.
circumstances. So, you know, they're just not in the like right frame of mind. As well, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
To be that, to do that, but I understand it to a point, because like I look back at it now and I'm like, when did I ever think like drinking a bottle a day would like is going to help me? You know, how did I ever think that was a solution?
Yeah.
When I think back to it now, I'm like, that's crazy thinking that I think that would help me, you know?
Yeah.
So,
So what are the fruits of recovery? What has it done for you? Like, the beautiful side, like where you're at now, and just, you know, I don't know, wherever you want to go with that. Like, well,
we were talking first about how hard recovery was for me too at first. SOAR definitely, it changed my life. Like, it gave me the community and the support that, even though I had other support, that it just clicked with me. It was what I needed.
Right.
And you know how earlier you talked about coming in and having to tell people?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when I had to come back in that first day, that after that weekend, and tell them I had relapsed, man. And Chris Hill's face and the guy's face, and he was like, "You aren't gonna make it."
Chris said that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I even I was looking up last night as I was thinking about this, everything I wrote down like in SOAR, like my first week.
Yeah.
That I was in here.
Some of them.
And
if you want.
But so when Chris had said that, he told me that I had to rely on something different. And I learned and to be more self-disciplined and walk away from situations that didn't benefit me.
Yeah.
You know, because I was in survival mode, I was told, but didn't, you know, clearly.
Yeah, because you were you're a single mom, 6 kids.
Yeah. And then
You are tough.
I put down here diligence. And I think that is, you know, something that changed my life was, you know, diligence.
Yeah.
Like, even I didn't want to work out. I was way overweight. I was like, I do not want to go in there and work out.
Yeah.
But I hated it. And I came in, but I loved it every night when I left. And I looked forward to, like, SOAR was like my favorite nights of the week.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people can say that about their recovery program, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who dread it, you know, or who have dreaded it. So it had such a positive impact on me. I think coming here and like seeing these normal people, like all the guys here, knowing that, okay, if they could do it, so could I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I just had the backing of like my family, and, you know, I just thought I can do this. So I just started raising 6 kids, you know, and it was such a struggle. I would say definitely financially, but more emotionally and mentally.
Yeah.
You know, I had to because I had no self-esteem.
Yeah.
I had no self-worth.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't see, even though what my dad or my mom and them would say to me, I didn't see that person. I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, but
I've been in that position for sure. Yeah.
And just day by day, things just started coming back. And at that time, you're so desperate. I grabbed onto anything positive that I could, or any, you know, good change. And so I just started there. I started realizing what worked for me and like what didn't. So like exercise or walking.
Yeah.
I used to walk every day because I knew my day was so much better if, you know, I got out and like a little bit of movement, like
Yeah.
you said, like you didn't care if it was 10 minutes, like
Right.
put your shoes on and get out there. And then I felt better, you know?
Yeah.
And it instilled something in me that even when I didn't want to do something, I knew that I had to like face that head on. And then if
Yeah.
it's going to be better, you know?
Little
Yeah.
things making bigger, harder things easier.
Absolutely. And just kind of stopped running from
Yeah.
every single thing that happened to me
Right.
Yeah.
or that came up, you know? So, and I don't know, I just slowly started, you know, getting confidence back.
You got your business going.
Yeah, I was able to, you know, open the salon and now safely and sober cut people's hair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're like one of the top, how do I say it?
It was,
Hairstylist?
yeah,
I
Yeah.
just wanted to be right there.
yeah.
Yeah, like, like that's all I hear about is you cutting hair and just, so your business is going well.
Insane. It is like kind of one of those things we talked about. Like sometimes you feel like you're on top.
Yeah.
It's just this time I can't forget what got me here.
Yeah.
And
That's way good.
so a lot of that still ties back to this place. I mean, I know it was only a 90-day program coming in, and I'm well over
Yeah.
my 90 days.
Well, you've turned it, you're the SOAR mom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
So everybody-
everybody calls me that. They definitely do.
Yeah.
I always have all the snacks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That's how I
but-
feel about it too. That's how
like I remember even like after 90 days, we were part of the group that was like, well, we don't have anywhere to go,
yeah.
so we're just gonna stay.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, that's what's cool. The coolest thing about SOAR is we cut it off at like, we graduate people at 90 days, and people always trip. They're like, well, does that mean I got to stop? Like, no,
Yeah.
you just keep coming.
Yeah.
It's just a way for us to just say it's 90 days. Good job.
Yeah.
And now you're going to move into becoming, you know, and helping people, start carrying the message and just keep training and keep living it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had worries, you know, out there when the gym gets too packed, but that doesn't stress me out. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in a gym long enough and training people long enough that I can run a gym with 40 people in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't mind it. I love when that energy's high and there's not enough racks.
Yeah.
I just like it. And then,
Yeah.
you know, it just says, well, we need to open another gym,
right.
you know?
And sometimes it's even important. It's important too to like when the gym got full and I would already, you know, get my 2 miles
Yeah.
in the morning, but I still came just for
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah, hang
just,
out.
just for the people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's what I did most of the time.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. With
Towards
your,
the end, I just would come in and
Yeah.
out.
just kick it,
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah. And I really struggled at first with my kids because, you know, I had older kids who were mad at me, you know,
Yeah.
who, you know, weren't really listening and who were upset about a lot of things, you know, divorce
Yeah.
and, you know, separate houses and mad and not wanting to, you know, just could throw any and everything in your face, right? Because you had
Yeah.
just been busy drinking
Right.
the last couple of years, you know, and it took a while for
Yeah.
you know
for that to heal.
to start to like mend those relationships.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, okay, I've been sober for 30 days, like you know,
Yeah.
or even 60, 90 days. Like it took a long it took a while.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like my 1 year, my kids all made these huge poster boards and wrote all on them about me. And it was pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, even now, sometimes like I feel that guilt for
Yeah.
what, you know, I put them through because of my selfishness and my
Yeah.
addiction, even though at the time I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say I'm glad that they've experienced it, but they've seen like both sides of it now.
Yeah.
You know, and like I remember my oldest being like, "Oh, don't worry, Mom, I won't drink. I'll never be like you." I was like, "Hey, dude."
Yeah, damn.
You know,
Right.
like I was a good time.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes,
Right.
or at least I thought. No, but you know, but it opened that door for me to talk to them and be open with them about drinking or drugs or, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they actually saw the negative effects, you know, of it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I don't know if that even puts
No,
it well.
that's perfect.
You know, but I mean, you have teenage kids too,
I have
right?
the same thing. This last one, my kids really was hard. I didn't realize it was hard on my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until I've said this before, but then I remember my daughter's was teary eyed when I was one time before I was going to treatment, and I was like, "Oh shit, she's crying!" Like she knows. Like you're so selfish and sick during those times.
Yeah.
You're just, oh, this isn't affecting Autumn. This isn't affecting my kids. This isn't. You know,
Well, because a lot of times the whole day is about you.
Yeah,
Being able to make sure you have that, get there, you know, your life revolves around that in a way.
Yeah, and then I just think back to all the times I had to go to detox, and I mean, one time I went to detox over their spring break, so it was like the entire when they were out of school. So I was gone the whole spring break, and I think back like usually I would be hanging out with my family and we'd go on vacation or go to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in detox, and at the time I didn't even think it. I was like, it's all right. This is a good time to go to detox because I don't have to work. It's like, but no, bro, you just missed spring break with your kids.
It's
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, you know, and before you know it, you know, like London's going to be a senior.
Yeah.
And it's,
Is she a
or
junior?
she is a senior.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I was
She's
gonna
going to be
say.
graduated. So it goes, the best thing about, I feel like SOAR as well, something for me too, is it also is really still so family oriented. Like all of my kids love it here.
Yeah.
And they come here.
Yeah.
I remember Kamari being like, "Mom, my shirt says SOAR," and everybody's looking at me like reading it like the younger kids, like he had an addiction or something.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, you know, and I think that was kind of just at first. And now, I mean, they love coming.
Bro, so you know the experience I'm having with them now.
Well, I haven't really I'm
Like,
so.
They're coming. They come, which has revamped that program because they're like, and sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm having a good experience with your kids right now. Like we're training them, and then we circle up, and it's been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been good for them.
I call London. I'm like, dude, you look like Zendaya.
Yeah.
Like I call her Zendaya. I don't know how she feels about it. But
I'm sure
she does. Like she is a beautiful girl.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. She called me yesterday. I called her. I was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, just at the temple reading my scriptures." And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm doing something right just a little bit. I kind of feel like, because, you know, maybe I think it's easier on them. I think she had to kind of play like maybe more of a mothering role those couple years, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Good for you. And then Kamari's a good kid.
yeah.
Yeah, like a couple good kids, man.
He's a really good kid. So it's done like great things for my family too.
Yeah.
You know, in
Just
ways
being in recovery.
in ways I never even like imagined. So I would say my nights now with them look a lot different than, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, just happier.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thankful for you.
Well, thank you.
Like seriously, like it's amazing, and thankful for all that you've done for SOAR.
Well,
I mean, you've done your family, your parents, and how you guys bring all the barbecue stuff every time we have an event, and just everything, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like thankful for you. So, and thanks for letting me work with your kids.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And how about Brooklyn too?
Yeah.
How great is that?
Oh, yeah.
How great is she?
That is great. So she's still working for you?
Yeah. Who would have ever thought, you know?
I have some sadness with her because I felt bad because I was working with her and training her and helping her. And then I had to, and the first night I took Kratom, I told her this, the first night I took Kratom was a night that I was meeting her over here to train her. And it was sad. On my way to come here, the dude is when I drank it and I came in and I was just like in the best mood. But anyway, then that's when I got wrapped up in it. And then what's interesting, I lost touch with her. I'm sure she's got some resentments. I need to somehow talk to her with her through it. But what was crazy, when I went into treatment at Action, she started working there. And that helped me.
Good. Yeah.
Like I was just seeing her and I just like got all teary. I was like, damn, I felt like God
Put
her in there at that time for me. Like I was worried about that because I just I got sick and then I was working with her pretty good. Like I was teaching her how to train and you know.
I think it speaks volumes too for the program because I mean, she came in and just learned such great principles and tools, right?
Yeah.
And I just got so busy at work.
Yeah.
And she needed a job because she was broke. And I was like, hey, come work for me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I feel like the salon too, it's like recovery every day.
Yeah.
It's like group every day.
Yeah,
I think I know every person that sits in my chair is affected by alcohol or drugs or, you know, substance abuse by a spouse, themselves, a parent, as a kid, family member going through it. Everybody is.
Everybody. Yeah.
And it feels like sometimes a group, like every day. And it's the coolest environment.
Right.
I'm so glad that she's in it. And going to school now and she's going to, do hair and she's going to be great at it. But same thing, she, took from here and, started going through it and then, touches so many other people's lives too.
Yeah, she just latched onto you because she saw that your example. She saw that you had something she wanted.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And as far as like your character and the way you're running your life and running this business, and now you've been a great blessing in her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's same way around.
Yeah.
And I feel like that a lot with service. It's something I know that's kept me sober too is service.
Yeah.
Like in December, when, I just think I have to change, my dad's so positive.
Yeah.
And I always had to change my thinking on it. And I think, well, I'm so lucky that I get to remember Heather Moore at Christmas and,
Yeah.
And when, we're down or whatever, we just, let's go do service or let's go help somebody or let's, do something for somebody else because that always takes you out of it, right?
Yeah.
And keeps you in that like spirit of service, which like we talk, like charity, the service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you doing something over every Christmas to like when you guys get in your head about her death, you turn your thoughts towards someone else to go help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we do like all her favorite things,
Yeah.
And we tell funny stories. A lot of people will, not want to talk about it or, tend not to, but we love talking about her. I love talking about her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for coming on.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that was great.
You guys are awesome.
Sweet.
All right.